So for this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to animate the throwing of a weapon, or in this case, going to be kind of a mid-sized dagger that I've got. I have fairly well modified an existing anablock. I do show how to do that in another video, but for right now, I'm just going to show you how to use an anablock to have a character throw a weapon. I'm starting out with looks like a left hand swing. This was the original anablock, which is like an overhead strike, and with some minor modifications I made it look like this, so it looks more like a throw. It's very minor adaptations, but you know, that's life. So what's actually going to happen here is, first of all, I need to parent this knife to his, looks like it's left hand. So start off on frame number 0. Gotta get this guy to his hand. And I always recommend you move the prop in position before you do a parent, because it just makes it a lot easier to navigate. Because what happens is, if I were just to parent the dagger to his hand immediately, sometimes they go straight to where they need to be, sometimes they don't, and if they don't, it's just really tricky to kind of get it into position. But I'm actually, let's see, right about there, I'm happy with that. That looks pretty good. So take this guy, right click, change parent to, let's see, looking for his right hand, or left hand I should say. Left hand, right there. Now it's going to go to, there you go. See, right now it still looks more like a strike, or in this case an awkward strike, because I modified it so heavily. But about there, where he opens his hand, or about there. I'm actually going to give this guy a background just so you can see him better. There we go. Now this is where my big trick. I don't want to go frame by frame and have his hand perfectly framed up with the knife. I just want to parent it. But if I leave the parent in place, at this point, if I just have it fly forward, it'll still follow the hand, and I want to do that. So what I do is go over to render. So now I have this almost a second long of footage. Make sure to add this keyframe down here right on number 23. And also, just because DAZ does this weird thing sometimes where it kind of adds a kind of wibble wobble to the props when you want exact things to happen, key back right here, add a keyframe, key back, add a keyframe. Just maybe 5 times. I don't know why this helps, but it really does. So now that I'm on frame 24, I find the small blade in the scene, right here on the scene menu. Right click. Now unparent the blade. And you can see it's actually going to keep going, but now you actually have to do this part manually. So I have to go to pose. It's got to come forward. Rotate forward. 1 frame again. And I'm trying to keep the speed consistent. That's actually a big mistake pretty much anybody can make. Forward again. And then gravity kicks in a tiny bit. And just keep this going until you're convinced it's going to be out of frame. Remember, the 3 controls I'm going are forward because of momentum, down a tiny bit because of gravity, and also a slow forward rotate. actually looks okay. I'm gonna make him one more frame. So my third and probably close to final step is to add a dynamic camera. Camera movement is a great way to kind of convince the audience there's actually more movement in a scene than there actually is. So it's probably sufficient. Now, when I'm going to edit these two shots together, it's extremely important that the camera remain consistent. So now that I have animated the blade flying forward, I need to animate it back in his hand. So just go back up there, reparent to his left hand, accept, and now it's back, and I take it all the way to frame 23. 23. Then I adjust my scale so everything is going to line up perfectly, and I render. So now I'm just using my very basic editing program. This is actually Coral Studios. It could be any editing program. I have the two vid clips set up back to back, and then they become very homogeneous. So in the end, to make this actually pretty decent throwing effect without having to go literally every single frame at a time, is you want to have consistency. The camera angles need to be consistent. The position of the prop from the hand, from the transfer frame, has to be consistent. Also, the speed might need to be played with, but that actually looks pretty good, I think. And that's the transfer right there. So this will probably, I hope, save you a lot of time on an effect that I kind of struggled with when I was first getting started. So that's my tutorial. If you have any questions, feel free to comment. If you want to help me out, subscribe. And hey, if you want to tell me what I got wrong or a better way to do something, I am always up for suggestions. Thank you.